Welcome to Blue Education, Migration and Careers. My name is Glen, and I've been in the education industry for over 20 years. I'm a registered migration agent since 2013. So, many of you are probably hoping to complete your studies and start your career, and I think a lot of you choose Australia for the hope of also exploring migration options. This process was probably easy about 15 years ago, but not anymore. Okay, I can explain for hours and share my personal experience on how much the policies, rules, laws have changed to affect a person, and this is, probably why that many students come to us now, because there's so much, what I call white noise in the marketplace that they're not getting the correct answers. I can explain everything to you for hours, but I want to save your time today, and that's not what we're going to be discussing. Today, my topic is going to be about how to waste $100,000 guarantee. Okay, so how do you waste $100,000? Okay, so on average, a cost of study in Australia over 3 years will cost between $75,000 to $135,000. So I'm considering if you are contributing towards going for your university studies. And with living expenses over a 3-year period, you're also looking at $63,000. Total expenses during this time is between $138,000 to $198,000, depending on what sort of course you end up doing. Okay, so yes, you guys are probably all aware of the cost. So why tell me this? Well, in terms of wasting that $100,000, there are a lot of ways why you can waste that cost. One is through the wrong course choice. So what do you mean by wrong course choice? So a lot of people would have listened to their family, agents, friends for an idea of what is a good study option, what's a good career option, and do those study and career options leads towards migration. Okay, so a lot of these people would have given you advice, but many are not trained to give you the right advice. So it could be them hearing from other people on what was possible in the past. They could have accessed a particular skilled occupation list, and all they see is just one title, and they think, oh, okay, that's a good career choice because it's on a skilled occupation list. Okay, so some of these so-called agents who claim to have years and years of experience, yes, they are aware of certain courses that are better for migration opportunities, but that's where they fall short, because they're not really worried about whether you get your migration opportunities. All they care now is how fast I can get you across there and how fast I can profit off you. So their concern is not to actually help you to choose or select the right occupation. Their job is to actually put you in a course as quick as possible. So a wrong course of choice can waste anywhere from $25,000 to $45,000, depending on how long you are in the wrong course and whether or not you change course during the time. Or even worse, we've had students who managed to divert to a different course, then later come back onto the correct course. So now they've actually spent 5 years of studies in Australia, and they've spent well over $100,000, and they're still not 100% sure whether the new course of study is going to lead them towards the career that they're after or the migration opportunities that they're looking for. Okay, so the other thing that a lot of students do is when they don't exactly enjoy the course that they're doing, they fail units. So any failed units at university level, you can be wasting anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 per unit. And we've seen students waste an entire semester. So imagine 4 subjects at $3,000 each. Straight away, you would have lost $12,000 in one semester. And if you're going to continue with the course, you have to repeat the course. That means you have to repeat the units. And when you repeat the units, you're paying another $12,000. Okay? And it's not just $12,000, you've got to pay half a year's of living, which is another $10,000. So not choosing the right course and not being happy with the course, now you've actually spent another $22,000 without even trying. Okay? So, that's the extended living. Any time you spend extended living, you pay extra money for the courses you're in. Okay? The other thing that a lot of people don't look at is employment delays cost money. What do I mean by that? Well, every year that you don't graduate, you're not really investing time into your career, which means you can't get a full-time job, which means you have opportunity costs in the employment that you could have received. So every year that you delay in starting your professional career, it's every year of lost income. So in Australia, the average income is about $40,000 a year. So if you waste 2 years, that's $80,000 you have lost. So actually, you have not only wasted $100,000, you have actually wasted a lot more. But most people don't count that because they say, oh, I've got a part-time job, my parents are still supporting me, and they can afford it. But when you look at the long-term costs, and if you measure it over 5 years, the biggest cost that you can never get back is time. Okay? And this is why it is very important that you speak to the right people, the people who have your interests at heart. Okay? There is a saying, if it is too good to be true, then it probably isn't. So you need to be careful. So how do you ensure that you are getting the right advice? Tune into our next session to find out more. Remember, nobody plans to fail. They just fail to plan.